Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Soloflow Show. This is the fourth episode of the Soloflow Show. We have done a replay lately of what happened to Akian. Akian was on his way to Stone Tower and had a lot of troubles finding his way there. We are still in the flooded lands of the Iron Lands. And we're gonna start again where we stopped last time. So he was arriving, or he just arrived in Stone Tower on more or less the top of the hill and could not fathom the fact that everything was destroyed everywhere and that he had no chance at all to make a living here. So he had decided he would go back into the swamps where he knew his way better. And we're gonna start with a new journey. He's gonna try to reach the next community. This will be an easy journey. We don't know the name of the community yet, or at least Akian doesn't. And we'll check it on the oracle later on when you arrive there. So the first we will do is to make a move, because that's what we do in Ironsworn. Everything is done with move. So the first move we will do is an adventure move. It's an undertake a journey. So let's go to page 65 and undertake a journey. So it's going to be a troublesome journey, not something big. We want to have a community in the vicinity of Stone Tower. Somehow the people that stole the stones from Stone Tower needs to live in the vicinity, so it's interesting to get the stones there. So there is one road. We hope it's going to go great. So it's going to be a troublesome journey, 3 progress per waypoint. It's going to take him 2 days, hopefully only 2 days. So we're going to roll against wits and hope for something nice, a nicer outcome as in the last few sessions. So it's 8 against a 7 and a 4. So it's a very good hit. It's a strong hit. So I make good use of my progress. Well, we'll just mark progress down. So there's going to be 1 day of roaming the countryside, and going into the swamps feels very natural to Akian. It's where he spent all his youth and all his life. Actually, he's never been as far from home as he is right now. So going back there is somehow feeling like going home. So he strides along a good way, and the whole day doesn't seem to lose his way. It's easy. He has to go in the direction of the coast and the swamps, and he knows how to get there. So we'll mark 3 progresses on the journey. I'm writing on paper. I'm old school that way. And the whole day will be on the path, on the lookout for animals, being stealthy when he thinks there are dangerous animals, being more joyful and making a lot of noise when he knows some of the animals would flee before him. Hi Christian, welcome. So he will arrive and find a good place to stay at night. We are still in the vicinity of the hills, so he has the chance to sit down in some stone encased place and spend the night. We will use the move to make camp, in this case 2, because there's no way not to, there's no reason not to. We could say, well, why would he? But no, he has to make camp. So it's rolling on plus supply. What's our supply as to now? Oh, it's a 4, that's alright. So we'll roll plus 4. So it's a 5 against a 5 and a 1, so it's not a strong hit, it's only a weak hit. But he will take the time to, at last, bring his thumb, his Thor's thumb, in order. And during the evening, while at camp, he just clacks it back on his place. It was hurtful, but he knows he can already move his hand much better, and he knows that's the best things he could have done. He makes a small fire on one side to keep himself warm, and on the other side to keep all the animals away, and he's lucky that and finds a lot of firewood which he can stuff, so that in the morning there is still some flame when he wakes up and he is ready to go on his way. And we will continue the journey we had started, still with, oh, it's a 7 against a double 6. When there's a double, the outcome is either very bad if it's not a success, or very good if it's a success. And in this case, it is very good. So there is one of his friend that we have not spoken a lot of. It's Nakata the Unloved. Nakata the Unloved is a friend of Akian, and she's like an herborist. She's an old hag that tends to be not very popular, but somehow they could speak together nicely, and they were always friendly to each other. So I will say, well, he meets her here, which is actually far away from where she lives, but you never know. Akian! My friend, is that you? Oh! Hello there! Hi! Nakata! My friend! What are you doing here? So far from Pete's fireplace. Well, I sometimes go to some remote areas just to find my herbs or sell my potions. Ah, yeah, that would explain why you would be out of the village for days. I never asked. Well, you're a good educated young man, so you would not intrude, but I wouldn't have mind. You could have asked me. Nakata, I'm really proud and really happy to see you. Are you going in any kind of directions? Well, I'm going to the next village. It's called, and since we now have an occasion, we will ask the oracle what's the name of that village. So we will take the settlement names and roll first time a 55, which means it's called after an historical event, and it's a 93. It's called Rockfall. So Rockfall is a small community which is somehow not far away from where they are, but which is not on the hill, but under the hill. It was on top of the hill, and they had their main temple just at the cliff. And the cliff broke, and the half of the village fall down into the valley. The only thing that was saved is the altar of the old gods, the gods from the old continent, that were not destroyed. And it was seen as a wonder, and the village was somehow moved, or most of the people just went into the valley to settle down and called the new village Rockfall. Akian, come with me at Rockfall. I know folk there. They are quite nice. Just come with me and entertain me of your wanderings. I've never seen you outside of the village. Yeah, times have been tough for me lately. Now I am on my own. I've been cast out of peat fireplace, and you should probably not speak to me. Apparently it's bad for business for people there. Ah, the people of the village. I don't care about what they say. I don't care at all. I do not live in the village, so I am free. Yes, but you are free, sure, but you are also alone. Is that not too hard on your nerves? Well, my friend, I have my cats, so no. I'm always happy to see them when I need to see them, and most of the time they are out of the house anyway, so no, I am not feeling alone. I have my cats as company, and come on, let's go to the village. Sure, I'm really happy to be with you. And so they go on. We will just, for reasons, roll against the advancement of the journey, which is a 6, and see if the journey was successful. So it's an 8 and a 4, which means it's a hit, but it's a weak hit. It means that Akian took his time. He took his friend with him, and his friend is old, so it took a little longer, as if he were walking alone. So in the end, they arrived quite late during the day there. It's still 1 hour until sundown, but they took their time and they had a good chat, and Akian is feeling much better. He has at last found someone who doesn't cast him away, and he feels like maybe this community could be better for him. So Akian and Nakata arrive at the village. Nakata, do you know people here at the village? Is there somewhere where we can sleep? Well, normally I have some friends here that can help me out, but just for me, it's gonna be a bit more difficult to ask them to bring you also. You know, I don't need a lot. I'd be happy to just stay in a barn and eat anything like a soup, or I don't really mind. Well, we'll see about that. We'll ask and see what comes around. So they will try to sojourn, which is the move also. There's a lot of moves. That's how we decide how it's coming and how the story goes forward. So in this case, I will give Akian an advantage on his sojourn move, because Nakata is with him. So it's relationship move. 73. 71, not 73. So he's seeking assistance and rolls plus heart, and he profits from the bond that Nakata has with Rockfall. So it's a 4 and a 9, and he has 1 heart and 1 thanks to Nakata, so it's a 5 against a 4 and a 9. So it's not a perfect hit, but it's a good hit. It's a weak hit. Still, he is accepted into the town and can sojourn. So he will recuperate, spend a few days there, and he will plan what's coming next in his life. So it means he takes a +2 on momentum, which is something that helps in the game, and momentum is also a way to know, well, is he feeling well, is he going forward in his quest, and so on. So +2 means he feels much better and is ready to confront the world. So we make a few rolls on the oracles to know what's going on in the village. We're gonna twice roll on the theme. First with a 9, which means wound, and a 22, which means a solution. So the village apparently has some kind of trouble, and apparently is some wounded person. So maybe we should check who that is, because I have an idea, but that would be much too easy. On the other hand, yeah, 15. 15 is minor, is a minor. Alright, so the minors, there's problem with the minors, and someone is wounded. Alright. And we'll check a name. 16 is Mortar. Mortar the miner. So Akian speak with his guest and everybody that is friendly to him, and knows after a few hours that the biggest problem in the village right now is Mortar. Or is not a problem, but Mortar has problem. Mortar had his tool completely crushed during a mining accident, and he needs help. And since there are no smiths in the village, that would be the occasion for Akian to help out and maybe forge a bond either with the miner or with the community directly. So I'm asking the public, what do you want the mine to be a mine of? What are they mining there? Hello, I'm new to the village. I'm Akian, and I wanted to introduce myself. I am a smith from Pete's Fireplace. It's not very far from here. Yeah. Hey, I'm Mortar, and I know of Pete's Fireplace. That's where Nakata comes from. I know her. I know her. Yeah, exactly. That's cool. She's actually a friend of mine. I wanted to ask you, I've heard that you had troubles with your tools and someone has been babbling around again. I hate it when people speak about me when I'm not there. Oh, don't worry, they were not speaking ill of you or anything. They were just told... Stop there. That's too much already. Yes, I was in a mining accident. And yes, I barely survived. But as you see, I am standing again and I'm feeling okay. But my tools have broken. I can still continue to work and I do continue to work, but it's much more slower. And yes, if you could do something for me, I don't know what I could do for you, but I will. So since no one seems to think of anything which is in a mine, I'll throw a dice, and the higher the dice, the more expensive it will be what they mine. So it's a 4. It's not very expensive, but it's still very important. So it'd be actually good to be iron mining, because in this case it'd be strange they have no smith, but they could sell the iron quite everywhere in the iron lands. It's always on high demand, and that would bring probably quite a lot of stuff from everywhere around to the village. I've been mining iron for a while now, and I know I have just struck a very good vein. So help me out and you would help the whole village. Hey, I'm ready to help. I wish to help. And I don't ask a lot in return. Maybe some place to sleep and a bit of food for the time I'm here, but that's not a lot. Alright, let's first start with the pike. Ooh, that's really bad. What happened there? I mean, it's broken in the middle. What? And oh yeah, the round thing here is broken too. That's not easy to bring back. No, you see, there is really a big problem. If you can reforge that, then I'd be really glad to continue my work in the mine. Are you the only person working in a mine? No, I am not, but that somehow it's my mine. I am the one who brought the carpentry inside, and you know how it is. Alright, I've heard you don't have a smith, so it's gonna be a bit more difficult to make that work. Do you have any kind of fireplace that is really hot or something like that? No, we only have our longhouse where the oldest live, but they are so old they don't really leave the house anymore and don't like the noise. Yeah, alright, the noise would be a problem. Then we'll have to do in the wild. Can you help me? I wish I could, but I still need to be in the mine. Alright, don't worry, I'll do it. So in this case, we'll throw some danger at Akia. He's gonna go around to get wood, to get peat, to get anything he can burn and try to smelt iron later on. So it's going to be first a move of face danger and then secure an advantage. The face danger is because something might happen in the wild. He will use his knowledge of the region to avoid danger as much as possible. Even though he's searching for firewood or anything, he will go out of his way to not get into trouble. So we will roll with wits. And wits being a 3, it's a 4 against a 7 and a 3. So it's a weak hit. Succeed, but face a troublesome cost. Could be delayed, tired, dispirited or afraid, or sacrifice resources. So we'll say Akian, on his way to some muddy, swampy area, just found his way to a wild boar. And not only what is it a wild boar, it's a mother with a few little piglets with her. And as much as he took precaution not to get into that kind of danger, he has to run away as far as he goes, as he can. And he loses a lot of ore and a lot of wood he was wearing with him during his run, and has to start from anew. So it took him about half a day to recover from this situation. He had to jump into a tree, and she would not leave from the tree, so he had to run and stay for hours in the tree. And in the end, he threw some stuff from up there at her, and she left with a piglet, but he had lost a lot of time. So we will lose 1 in momentum. At the end of the day, after having faced the wild animal, the wild boar, he decides to go back to the village and bring to the house of mortar all he had found, and that he will, on the next day, start working on the forge. Hi mortar, that's all I could muster for one day. I'm getting the rest, but I know it's not a lot, but that should be enough probably to smelt a bit of iron, so I could try to repair your stuff. That really doesn't look like a lot. What have you done today? You've been swimming in the swamp or what? Yeah, I know I'm dirty, but that's from climbing up a tree. There was this gigantic boar that was after me. She wanted to kill me. Ah, I know where you've been. All right. Oh yeah. You should probably not get into that area. She just had a piglets, and she's kind of touchy about coming too close to them. Tell me about it. I know what you mean. I'll start on that tomorrow. Is that alright? Can I stay at your place tonight? Yeah, well, I don't mind the company. It's been a while since I have had people at home. I have some bread, and I made some turnip soup. Is that alright with you? Yes, sure. I have some berries I could add to as a dessert or something like that. Sure, come in and we'll do the night. So, Akian spends the night at Mortar's place. It's not fancy or anything. It's actually a small house. It has only 3 rooms, one big room where the fire and the bed are, one small room which is much colder where he has all his food, and the third and last is actually outside, and it's for, well, getting rid of what you have eaten. So on the next day he will secure an advantage. He will start something like a new quest and reforge the tool, the peak that was destroyed in the accident. So he has been preparing for it, and it's still with expertise. He has been, yeah. So he's gonna roll against wits. With wits again, it's the difficulty. And it's a 9. It's not a strong hit, sadly, but it's a weak hit. I get +1 momentum. So Akian has prepared for the whole day and start digging out first in the vicinity of the hut of Mortar a hole. It takes a while because he is alone, and he gets some clay and starts building a round chimney up there, and down at the chimney he brings something for from some air, so some air could bring in, and he builds it about 1 meter high, and at the end of the day he has to get it to dry, so he goes into the wood, gets some more clay and builds as high as he can and bakes it during the night. So during the night he puts some wood into the clay or in the middle of the clay chimney and just burns the wood so that the warmth would bake the clay. On the next day he does the same, and at the end of the second day or in the middle of the afternoon it's about as high as him. It's about, he continues working on it until it's 2 meters high, and just throws all the wood and all the peat, everything he has on it, on top. And after that, once all that is stuff down, he starts putting some iron ore on top, as much as he can get inside, and close the whole thing with his buckler, and starts making holes down, just completely down, and starts a fire that will burn the whole time through this chimney and will burn as long as possible, but also as hard as possible. He brings as much air as he can inside with his bag, pressing it down, pressing and pressing, so that fire starts and is really, really hot, and then he lets it burn the whole night. And on the next day he comes there, restarts the fire, and in the end, under where he had made his fireplace, he starts to dig, and from the warmth that was accumulated there, he just starts and makes a small hole, and out of which comes very, very, very hot iron. Not pure, not good at all, but still, from iron ore to some liquid iron is already a good step. And he lets it get a bit colder, and Paul gets his gloves on and starts smithing it, and starts putting reheating it as often as he can so that it gets liquid again, and then he starts using this liquid or pasty iron to put it on the part of the tool that was broken. And it's not as good as reforging it and so on, but it helps. It puts that part into the fire too, and in the end, with the paste and the rest being also hot, it tries to make the tool whole again. We will see how good that goes. We'll do the same as Secure and Advantage. With expertise, that's what he does. He is a smith. He knows what he does. And it doesn't work well for him. So, not only does he not repair the tool quite good, but he thinks he did a good job. So it's with all his heart that he gives the tool back to Mortar and sends him into the mine on the next day. And he's happy. He has his tool again. Someone made it whole again. He's really happy about it. But 2 hours later... Hi, Mother! You're already back. You've done your whole day of working in 2 hours, or that's unbelievable. Must have been good to work with the tool again. You are not welcome at my home. What? What's going on? That is going on. My tool is broken again. You are kidding me. That's not possible. I did the best I could. Well, I've heard of your skills. Your father has sent all over the place to tell everyone that you are a bad smith. And now I can only say, I didn't want you to believe him, but you are just bad at your work. Bad at my work? But I've repaired that within 3 days. Is that what you call repaired? Look at it! It's broken again! And I've used it twice. Once, and at the second time it broke, fall on my foot, and look at it! I even have blood on my foot now. It even broke my wood shoes. I'm so sorry. I don't understand what went wrong. Well, but do you really want me to leave the village again? I did not say that. I am not the chief of this village, and I have not the authority to throw you out. What I said is, you are not welcome in my hut anymore. So pack your things and go. All right. Can I say I'm sorry? I thought it was good. Sorry doesn't excuse bad work. All right. I'll be going then. See ya. And not really knowing what else to do, he goes to Nakata. Nakata is still in the village. She has taken care of someone in the village that was also wounded, but more the way she knew how to do it, treating with herbs. And She was about to leave the village, and Akian could help, could need her help. So he asked her, Nakata, my dear friend, as it seems I have done terrible work, and again I've messed up things. Morta, the miner, doesn't want me anymore, and he's probably gonna speak ill about me at the village. Oh, don't worry about Morta. Morta is an old grumpy guy. An old grumpy miner. He prefers to meddle with the stories of the village. Don't worry, he probably won't talk about you in the village. You mean that really? Ah, you know how he hates people speaking about him? Well, he thinks that everybody should do the same. So he doesn't speak ill of anybody on his side. He just doesn't speak a lot. You probably have heard half of the words he has spoken since the last spring. Whoa, that's really not a lot. Can you help me out? Can you steer me someplace where I could find, I don't know, employment or be useful? I wish there was something. Well, my friend, I introduce you to the mother of the village. She is the eldest woman in the village, and she has some kind of power. Well, people tend to listen to her, and maybe she can help you to be useful. Oh, that'd be very nice. What's her name? Well, we'll see about that. What is her name? We'll ask the oracle. And let's check. It's an 80. 80 is Rodria. Well, that would be Rodria with the 7 sons. Don't worry about the sons. They are good boys. They are older anyway. But Rodria of the 7 sons is the one you should be speaking to. Thank you very much. So, Akian goes to Rodria and will ask her if he can help out in any way he can. He's gonna try to barter his way into the heart of the lady, and it means we are gonna be rolling with heart. Oh, and that's a 6 against a 3 and another 3. So it's exactly the contrary to the situation before. It's a very strong hit. So what should we do with that? Well, it's gonna be a very good relationship that's gonna start against 2. Hello, I'm searching for Rodria. Is Rodria here? Come in. Hello, I'm Akian. I'm new to the village, and I'm a friend of Nakata. Ha. Come to Rodria. Come. Ah, you look like my third husband back in the days. Yeah. Oh, I do. That's good, I think. Oh, yes. He brought me 3 of my 7 sons. So yes, he was a good man. Productive one. You know what I mean. I'm not sure I want to know what you mean, but I was wondering, is there any way I could be helpful to you or to this village? Well, we have had troubles lately, and I don't know why I can't trust you. It's probably because you look like my past husband. Um, let me think a few seconds. What could we have troubles? And that's I'm gonna ask the oracle again, because we have that kind of stuff in here. So we have the oracle 9, which is settlement troubles, and this one doesn't. So it's a 12. 12 means an important object is lost. We've had a theft. Maybe you know the story of this village. You mean with the cliff and everything falling down into the valley? Exactly what I mean. Yes, I like you. We had created some kind of church to the old gods there, but one of the cups, one of the holy cups we have, has disappeared. Since when? Is that long ago? Well, it was before you arrived, a few days before you arrived, so we don't think it was you, don't worry. If you were to find again this cup, if you were to find it again, it would be a great joy for the village, and it would be a great reason to have a party and to rekindle the faith in the old gods. I'm sure I can find it. I certainly hope I can find it. Is there any way I can start? Maybe could you help me out? We'll roll another character name and his character description. So it's a 23. It's add-on. And add-on with 26 is ambitious. But he is also 8 armed. So he's armed and ambitious. Add-on. Well, you could start with our priest, Eden. He will be very, very happy to see you. Thank you very much. I'll do my best to find this cup. And on these words, he leaves a house and starts going to the temple, which is interestingly not in the middle of the village, but somehow a bit outside near the cliffs. And somehow with the cliffs falling down into the valley, people did not wanted their house in the vicinity, so it's a bit outside of the village. I am searching for Eden. Add-on? Add-on? Yes, that would be me. What do you want from me? I've just spoke with Rondra, the eldest, and she told me you had a theft in here. Yes, we had. That. Oh, you are the one I have seen in my dreams. You are the one destined to find the cup of fertility. Whoa, are you sure that those are strong words? My gods do not lie to me. They always tell me the truth, and I know, I can recognize now. You are the chosen one. Wow, the chosen one. That's. Whew, I'm not. Don't know if I can. Don't get your hopes too high. I will tell everybody that you are the chosen one, only if you find the cup. Okay, so you have not have any dreams yet. You are just telling me I am the chosen one, so you can get all the glory from finding back this cup. You should not speak to a priest like that, but your honesty is honorable. I pardon you that you are such a bad mouth. Alright, you won't admit it's the truth, but alright. Don't worry, I don't care really for the glory. I just want the village to be happier, so you can tell them, your gods help me find this cup. As long as as long as everybody is told I was working with you, or I was the vessel for your god to find this cup, it's alright with me. You do not believe in our pantheon? Oh, I do. I do fear our gods, and I do respect them. It's just, I didn't like the priest in Pete's fireplace where I come from, and since then I've not been good about priests. Not all priests are the same. But what do you want in exchange for finding this cup? Oh, I don't want anything. I just want to help. If that's alright, if that's okay with you. If you tell everybody that I found it, and if I am always welcome in this village, then I am happy to help. So, what you will need to know is that 8 nights hence, 8 nights in the past, I was not here, and during the night someone came in and stole the cup. I have no clue who that could be, but I can show you outside where his footprints were when, or she, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but the thief left some footprints. I could show you, and maybe that's something that could be an indication where to start. Yes, that would be very helpful. Come and show me. And on that note, they go outside of the temple, and we will make a move. The move is gather information, and depending on the result of this move, we will play the last scene for today. So, rolling with width and conducing the first investigation. So it's a 9, which is better than an 8, and a 10. Not as good as a 10, but I'm happy there was a hit with those difficulty dice. So it's a weak hit. The information complicates your quest and introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover. So Akian is brought outside of the temple to a place where there is some mud. And there, somehow, he still can see that there are some footprints in the dirt, but there have been other crossing it since, and it will not be easy to follow this. But apparently those seem to make a small round and come back into the village. So he thinks that's probably someone who knew the priest was not at home and took the opportunity to take it for himself. So it's going to be not a chasing for a thief, but he will be searching the village, asking people around what happened on that evening and why he is not, why it has been stolen. So he doesn't say anything yet, because these are only hypotheses. Doesn't say anything to the priest, and we'll stop with that, and we'll continue next week. So Tuesday at 4. Tune in on Twitch if you want to be live with us and participate into the story and bring something to the table, ask anything. I will try to introduce what you put in the chat at any time. If you are watching this on YouTube, I hope you liked it, and if that is the case, I'd be very happy if you could put a thumbs up to this video, and if you really liked it, it would be very nice to subscribe to the channel. If you didn't like it, well, maybe you could copy the video and send it to your enemies. Anyhow, it was the Soloflow Show, the 4th episode, and we'll be back next week at 4 hours of Berlin on Twitch. I hope you will tune in, and see you next week.